You'll love The Thing. The Thing is incredible.
Okay, this was good, man. I had a sneaking feeling that they were behind it all from the beginning, but
Yeah, I want to ask you about a lot of this. I
yeah,
want to ask you about a lot of this kind of stuff because I there's a perspective to it. Like, oh, are we live? Yes.
oh,
Hello,
that's a bit
everyone.
weird. It just
Um,
good
hello,
evening,
everyone.
everyone. Yeah, Restream just made me go live without me realizing it. Sorry about that.
That's right. This is
Yeah,
a
welcome
very
to Real
professional
Talk with
podcast.
welcome to Real Talk with Tyrone and Bathtime. Tonight we're going to be discussing Skeleton Key. How you been? How you been, Bathtime? You been good?
Yeah, I have been good. I always like to do a little bit of a sort of what we've been up to before we start, and been exchanging some scripts and some treatments this week, haven't we?
Yeah, I have to confess, I've not had a lot of time. It's been a busy week to look at the treatments in full
Have
detail.
you not read the one-page
But
treatment I sent you?
I
Unbelievable.
haven't. I've scrolled it like a little bit. I haven't been able to look at it extensively because yeah, I spent a lot of time trying to get this film off the ground that we're doing.
What, the
So
bear?
yeah, so I've spoken to someone, and basically I can get access to any equipment that I want at the university, so that's a plus. And I put some material out there, so I'm on the lookout for an actress.
Ah,
So
fantastic. Also, I'd like to shout out
I've already
Agile
started with that.
Beast. He's one of the boys from the football side of
Big up
things.
Agile Beast, how you doing?
Yeah, that's
Always
really
nice to
exciting.
have a new subscriber in here, so I appreciate it. Appreciate that.
Yeah, this is an absolute clown fest of a podcast at the moment, Agile. We're going to get better at it, but it's just like movie reviews. So myself and Tyrone are like working on films and stuff. And this week, I've selected a film which has, in my opinion, one of the strongest endings I've ever seen from a film. And I suppose so. Should we do a general overview, Tyrone? Like, it's your first time watching it. What did you think? Hello?
What do you want to start with? Do you want to go through the first scene,
No, just
or just
give me an
my
overview.
overall view on it?
Yeah, overall view. Like, would you
Yeah,
recommend
you
it
keep
to
cutting
someone?
out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hang on. I'll replug my mic in.
Um, I w yeah, I would recommend the film to somebody because it's a lot better than I thought it would be. I think this film would probably do a lot better now with modern day audiences. I think back then when it came out, I think it came out in 2005. I don't think this film was probably appreciated as much as it should have been. Maybe people didn't get it. I didn't find it hard to understand this film. I thought it was a very good film. Yeah, big up Bilal. Nice to see you here, mate.
Right, this should be working now.
That's better. I can hear you now.
Thank you. Sorry. This bloody like, what are we on Restream? This is just wank, isn't it?
It's terrible. I need to find a better one, man. It's not good enough.
Yeah, but like until we get good enough to like need professional stuff, I think we're all right. Just like clowning about on this. Um, right. So the skeleton key. I suppose I should just give a disclaimer to this before we get into it. Is that
Mm.
how is it 6 years since COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah. During COVID, I wrote to the director of this film, Ian Softly, about something or other. And we had a couple of emails, and he was a very, very nice chap. So I think that that's worth bearing in mind, is that I've had a positive interaction with him. And I like
Okay.
the film. Also, the writer has gone on to do bits. He wrote Top Gun Maverick and F1.
Erin Kruger.
Yeah, like two of the biggest
Oh,
films, I would
nice.
say, in the last couple of years.
Mm.
But this film's all about the ending, and I really, really like it. I really, really like this film. So if you were to sort of sell this to someone, Tyrone, how would you start off? Like, you know, the sort of premise and all that kind of stuff.
Um, if I was gonna sell this to people, I'd basically say to people, look, this is a film that's gonna have you jumping out your skin at different times when you don't expect it. Because I'm not gonna lie, there were times when I was just watching it, watching along, going through the journey with the character Caroline, the main actress in it, and I was jumping. Not because something was scary, but the film was very clever at like making you jump at certain points. And yeah, it's a lot better than I thought it would be because I was kind of dreading watching it. But
Well,
I
why?
found,
Tyrone
well,
doesn't
you
think
go
I've got a very good taste in films, basically, is what this is about.
basically, I enjoyed this a lot more than Baba Hotep. That's why.
Baba Hotep is a brilliant film. Um, okay, so
Yeah.
shout out to Bilal. Massive plot twist in the end. Yeah, so of course there's obviously going to be spoilers for this film, and I think that the best place to start really is: did you see the ending? The ending coming, and did you feel it was like kind of warranted, as it were? Like, did it make sense?
It made perfect sense. I found like throughout the middle of the film, I had myself wondering. I was wondering like, is that Mama Cecil? Is like Violet Mama Cecil somehow? I wasn't sure because obviously I thought I might be way off the mark, but in the end, towards the end, basically, I found out that my hunches were correct. But I like the way that they did it. They did it in a way that surprised me because, like in most films, you know, the good guy at the end of the film kind of gets a happy ending, and there was no happy ending with Caroline. So.
Yeah,
And
like
I found her quite a frustrating character as well.
who,
So
Caroline?
yeah, I didn't have as much empathy for
We'll
her
get into
character as
that
maybe I
because
should
I genuinely
have.
think she's one of the best characters I've ever seen in a film because she's just such an idiot. Like, and she thinks she's right. I love it.
She thinks she's
Um,
clever and she thinks she's I don't know,
yeah,
yeah, you're right. She does think she's
such a liberal. Um, but
mm,
when I first watched this film, I can remember the bit where I knew what the ending was going to be, and it was really late on. It was when the Southern lawyer had a book that said "Wills for Dummies." Did
mm.
you catch that bit?
Yeah, and obviously Caroline sees it because he has a lot of stuff that's hidden. She finds out that they've been after her because obviously there's loads of photographs of her.
Yeah,
So
but she
that's a
focused
bit
on the
weird.
wrong thing.
Yeah, she
Um,
focused on the wrong thing.
right. I don't know where to start. Okay, so
We'll start from the
um,
beginning.
yeah, all right. So from the beginning, I've got a couple of issues with the beginning of this film. I think
Okay.
like what's really well done in this film, leading up to the twist, is that there is clear motivations established really early on. So
Hmm.
in Act One, you've got Caroline Kate Hudson. She is like a nurse. She cares a bit too much.
Hmm.
There's a very sort of silly clue early on. You might have missed this, but the black guy dies in bed. He has a
Hmm.
keychain that says "Live fast, die young," and I think that's
Mm.
meant to be ironic. And she carries it around with her for the rest of the film because she ain't dying young, lads, in this film. Um,
Mm.
and you kind of get it established like her dad left her, or no, he didn't. Sorry, they never made up before he died, and she really cares for her patients and stuff. And I think all of that's fine, isn't it? Like, you get a decent idea of her motivations and who she is.
Well, I think did her mum leave her? It was either her mum died when she was quite young, and then her dad had to
Mhm.
kind of look after her as a single parent. So yeah, you find out that she's really close with her father because there's like a picture of her and her dad beside her bed.
Yeah, and
And
I think he's
yeah,
famous. That guy in that picture, I know him from somewhere. It was
mm,
annoying me. I thought he looked a lot like Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Um, but yeah, like, I think basically it's really cleanly established that there's an issue with her. with how her dad died. Also, shout out to Tully who's joined us. And
Big up Tully.
I didn't really. I thought it was. I thought it was all perfectly fine. I actually think it's quite an interesting choice in a horror film not to show something scary straight away. Like I can't remember the last one I've seen where you don't get, like the mini movie at the start where someone gets hunted or killed or something spooky happens. Like this, it's
different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's slow, isn't it? It's a very slow.
Very slow. But I didn't mind that though because I thought this is gonna go somewhere eventually. Do you know what I mean? I didn't mind how slow it was. I like horror films that are a bit unconventional. They're not the typical slasher movies. So for me, this was very different. It's more of a psychological horror.
Yeah, I like getting drawn into things. Like obviously, if you're watching a film called like I don't know, Ghost Crocodile, you just want to get to Ghost Crocodile as quickly as possible. But in this film, it's much more of that creeping horror that I enjoy. Like it reminds me in some ways of. Have you heard or seen The Wicker Man?
No.
Right, so The Wicker Man, very famous British film, remade with Nicolas Cage. It's about, it's actually, believe it or not, it's about a virgin 50-year-old policeman investigating a murder in Scotland on an island in the Hebrides. And it's one of those films where it just gets progressively a bit weirder and it kind of lulls you in. And I got a very similar kind of feeling from this, where like in the sort of the safe places, where she lives, there's like this really cool sort of like Mardi Gras bar and things, and New Orleans always looks like a really good laugh and stuff. And then she gets to. Do you recognize the house, by the way?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it reminds me of a certain house in America. Yeah, I don't
Which
know if
house?
that was deliberate. The White House.
No. Well, it might. If it did remind you of that, then fair enough. But it is it's the house from Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I haven't played. No, I've only played Red Dead 1. I haven't played the second one, so that's why I wouldn't know it.
Well, this is the archetypical plantation house in the south of America. Like, it's been in like loads of films and games and books and stuff. It is exactly what you picture, like that long sort of drive with loads of trees and then the sort of big white columns at the end. It's very dilapidated. And for me,
for a bit of flood in there as well.
Well, do you know what annoyed me is I
noticed the flooding.
Yeah, but the final, it's nothing to do with Hurricane Katrina, if that's where you're going. Was that where you were going?
No, but I just noticed that there was a bit of flood in there. Or was it? Maybe it was my imagination. But
no, because like right at the end, you get like you get this lovely kind of, I suppose now you'd call it a drone shot, but it's like a helicopter shot of the house in the woods with the river next to it. And I'd love that to have been our introduction to that house, because it really is just a mansion in the swamps. It's fantastic.
It's a very nice, to be honest, I actually wrote that in my notes at the end of the film. I thought that ending shot where the credits come and you see the drone shot of the house was amazing.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it? Like, but so that's basically Act 1. It's a very simple setup. Like, it's a very simple set up the problems in her life, set up who she is, set up her motivations. And I think it's done perfectly fine. There's no real sort of horror shocks or anything. And then we get, we kind of get the Threshold Guardian in some ways, don't we? It's like a very silly scene where she goes to a petrol station and the bloke's speaking French. I mean, come on, man.
He asked her if she speaks French. She said no.
Yeah, piss off, man. I don't like stuff like that. It's so stupid because it's just like, oh, this is spooky. It's a bloody petrol station. You don't need to make it into a voodoo shop. Like, I much preferred the idea that the laundrette was secretly running as a front for Big Voodoo. That was much more fun to me.
But I know why they've done that though with the petrol station. You just know it's just because they want to get a few cheap thrills in there, cheap scares in there.
Yeah, it's. Do you remember when I got annoyed with the snake in Sinners?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. It's you've got to remind people that you're watching a horror film, and I
Mm,
I would have preferred it to have been done differently, because I just think it's a really sort of archaic, silly scene. But what it does serve as is like, in terms of the narrative, it serves as that you are crossing into a new world, and this
mm.
world you don't understand. And
But before
so,
we even get there, sorry, go on.
well, so I was about to start dissing Goldie Hawn's daughter now, because she needs a good dissing.
No, but before we even get to like New Orleans, I like the bit where her friend Jill is basically telling her, "Look, I know that you care about your job, but don't you think you care a little bit too much?" And she completely just waves off that advice as if it's nothing.
Yeah, she just
And
doesn't listen to
yeah,
anyone in the film. It's
yeah,
absolutely brilliant. She's such a
yeah.
typical, like, idealistic American woman.
Mm,
Like, there's not going to be a problem. Everyone's lovely. Like, it's such a great character, because I've met so many people like her. Definitely in South America. Um,
yeah,
but so we get like Mama Voodoo. I can't remember her name.
yeah.
It's a fun name though, isn't it? It's French.
Violet.
What is it? Is she called Jepardieu or something like that? What's her real name?
Oh,
Devereaux.
hold on.
Devereaux.
Devereaux, yeah. Violet Devereaux.
Right.
Yeah.
I've got to say, watching this second time, it's incredibly funny, these scenes. And do you know why?
No, I don't know what you're gonna say.
All right. Tell me what you thought of these scenes when you saw them. So it's the lawyer, Devereaux, and they're kind of, sizing up Caroline, as it were.
Um, I like the Violet character because you don't realize it at the beginning, but she basically looks at her and, as far as she's concerned, like, I don't like her. She won't get on with this house. So she's basically like making out that she doesn't want Caroline to be there, when secretly we find out that that's completely the opposite. And
No, I think I disagree with that completely.
actually, no, actually, maybe she doesn't like her because she prefer. Yeah, yeah, I know where you're going with it. I think I know why she doesn't want her.
Well, it's obviously
Yeah,
there's the black thing where
yeah,
she wants to be,
yeah,
she wants to be black again. But
yeah,
what I
yeah,
find really cool about this is that all her reasons make sense in terms of the ending. Like, one of them is that she keeps going on about, I bet you're marked up. Like, i.e., I bet you're covered in
tattoos,
tattoos. Yeah, she doesn't want
tattoos, yeah,
tattoos for her new body.
yeah,
And then she
yeah,
goes, you're not from the South. And the point of that is that she doesn't think that their tricks are going to work on her, that it's a waste of
mm,
time. And the bit that cracked me up watching it the second time is Papa Justice is like, hang on a minute, I'd really like to have sex with her. Let's keep this going. Like, this is
mm,
why I absolutely love these scenes. It's because his motivation at this point is he would love a go on her.
mm,
Did you get any
yeah,
of that?
yeah. And I think you also kind of you kind of understood that Cecile was Violet when she cooks the meal and she's like, "You haven't touched your gumbo." Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, like, oh,
that
this
was
there's so
another clue.
much little stuff in this.
Yeah,
It's even the
yeah.
cigarettes she smokes. It's
But
like,
also how she speaks as well. Her voice, she
yeah.
speaks like a black woman as well. So that was a clue.
Well, that's not something that I picked up. She's just a French American person to me. They're all
Mm.
nuts. But
She has like the
I,
same kind of manner, the same twang to her voice.
yeah, like, I mean, obviously
Yeah,
the actress is going to is going to have like included some of that in her performance. But in terms of her performance, I do think she's a brilliant villain.
yeah,
Like, she's not powerful, she's not threatening really. You do it to yourself, but she's just so evil.
yeah,
Especially when, we get this wonderful, like, sort of scene a little bit later on, like just at the start of Act 2, where she tells the story of Mama Cecile and Papa Justice. And
yeah.
it's such a good bit of manipulation, because she was actually one of the ginger kids watching their spirit in her old body getting burnt and hung.
Mm.
That's proper fucked up, isn't it?
It is. it's mad, isn't it? It's mad that she's looking on. Yeah, because that's what they were doing. The people didn't realize they were doing that. They were taking over their bodies, and then that's crazy. You're right. That's crazy. But what's
Yeah,
even
and
more evil is them children had to suffer that. Imagine that.
exactly. Those
Oh
innocent
my
little
God.
kids. Did you
They
know?
had to suffer that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course you got that.
Well,
It's
yeah,
terrible.
like,
They are
um,
pure evil.
yeah, and I think that's so cool. Sorry, Bilal, Papa Justify. I prefer Papa Justice, to be honest. But like, and then we've got, without doubt, one of the greatest acting performances ever from John Hurt. I mean, man, what a gig that must be for an actor. No lines, in a wheelchair, don't talk. Wonderful stuff.
But there's a bit early on where he grabs Caroline's like wrist like quite violently, and obviously she isn't really clued up enough to understand what it means. But it's basically like a warning, like get the hell out of here. But she doesn't
Yeah, well,
take it on
he's the half man, isn't he? That we talked
board.
about in other horror films, like John Zombie from last week.
Yeah,
He's kind
yeah,
of like the victim of
yeah.
what's going to happen to the main character, and you have to use it as a warning. And she doesn't. And like at this point in the film, so you've met John Hurt, you've met like Depardieu, whatever her name is, like Mama French.
Mm.
What are you sort of thinking? Like, is it getting good? Are you interested? Like, what's the process?
I'm just watching it. It takes a while for you to kind of understand what's going on, but I'm kind of like, you don't really notice that Violet's a bad character at that point, which is quite good. You're kind of thinking, okay, she doesn't want any mirrors in the house. She
You
just
just think
wants,
she's dick,
yeah,
don't you?
yeah. You just think, yeah, she's just an old woman. She just wants you to do your job, listen to the rules, that sort of thing. You don't really
Yeah.
think, yeah, you don't think to yourself, oh, she's one of the bad characters.
But what did you think
And
about the mirrors, for example? Like, you know, it's a horror film. Like, there's a
mm,
weird haunted attic with a door that just keeps banging. Like, what are you sort of like? Where do you think it was going at this point?
for me, it got a bit slow. I think when it started to get interesting for me is when Caroline finally gets into the attic and she breaks in, and you start to see like. So I've kind of written it down, some of the imagery that you see.
Yeah, it's just weird stuff, isn't it? Like the stuff
Yeah,
in
like the doll's
coffins.
head, effigy with the eyes missing. There's a baboon skull, and then it's a really cool shot of Papa Justifies occult book, and it
Yeah,
kind of tells you like the four things that you need, which is chalk, sulfur, blood, and hair, and the main conjuring thing, which is basically the conjuring of supreme protection. You see this mysterious ring, which has more significance as we get to
oh, the
later on in
Viper
the film.
ring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we find out his church was the New Iberia Parish. That's when they first practiced their occultism, apparently. But I liked all the imagery. For me, that's when I started seeing all that sort of stuff. I thought, you know what, this is actually they've done it in a completely different way to Serpent in the Rainbow, but I found it a lot more exciting because
I
I
think
don't
this
know.
is better than
Yeah,
Serpent in the Rainbow,
I
to
think
be
I
honest.
think it's better as well. But like when I'm looking at the book, I'm thinking to myself, all right, I'm actually getting just as curious. Let's see where this is going. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden,
It's just clues, isn't it? It's like, and I think that when you've got right, when you're
the film does a good thing. Yeah, yeah.
I think when you're working towards a specific ending, like because this is only the second time I've seen this film. It's lived with me for years because
Mm.
I think it's such a terrifying premise of someone stealing your body or stealing your youth. Like,
Mm.
oh, like I have regular nightmares about waking up fat, and I blame this film for that. Um,
When did you watch this then? How old was you? Was you quite young when you watched this? This is
yeah, like I'd
2005, isn't it?
say maybe like 14 or 15, something like that.
Mm,
So
2005.
it affected me, like, obviously if you watch this film when you're 70, you're going to view it differently to when you're 14. You've got your whole life ahead of you.
Mm.
But it's something, I just think it's a wicked premise for the start of the film as well. Like, imagine
Mm.
waking up in an old man's body
Gosh.
and like, ugh. But the other bit that I really liked at the start is when they start showing photos of their ex-victims.
Yeah.
But what I want to get a good sense of is that we've got like the three main characters in the same location. We've got John Lawyer, Mama Voodoo, and Caroline. At this point, you don't really have any theories. You don't know where the film's going. You're along for the ride.
Yeah, because basically you are Caroline figuring stuff out, wondering where it's going. That's all you are. You're just you're basically following her journey.
And were you suspicious of Handsome Lawyer?
Yes, only because he always plays them kind of characters, them kind of sly, sneaky characters.
Does he?
Yeah,
because when this film came out, those two were like the new hot rom-com stars.
Okay.
So it's really casting when I saw it, it's really casting against type to have him as the villain. I've got to be honest, I didn't see that coming when I first watched it. I should have, but I didn't.
No, it wasn't that. I'll be honest with you. I thought, you know what, he's quite sly normally. I'll keep an eye on him. But he played the role of being a nice guy so well that I can understand why somebody would think, oh, I didn't see that coming. He played both sides really well. And he did have a bit of a weakness, Papa Justify, because he even says towards the end when she's like, can I please have my dad's picture? He actually has that bit of weakness, like, all right, I'll get your dad's goddamn picture. So he's not completely heartless. I think the main heartless one is Cecile.
He's much nicer than Cecile, isn't he?
I think Cecile's the one who's been driving all this wickedness. I think she's the one who has the hold over him, to be honest.
Maybe. I'd love to see a prequel to this film, to be honest.
I don't know why there hasn't been one.
It just didn't do that well. I mean, we forgot to mention this, like, because we had a chat backstage, but I cannot get away from the similarities between this and Get Out.
They've ripped it, let's be honest.
Do you think they've ripped it?
They have. It's obvious.
They've borrowed the idea, but the thing is, I don't think they've changed enough. Do you know
I didn't
like
Get Out, though. I wasn't a fan of that, though.
I like Get Out. I thought it was a very good functional horror film.
It doesn't
a little bit silly with the TSA agent just being this kind of stereotypical comic support of just screaming, but I really like the half man in that as well. Do you remember at the party they meet a black guy in a fedora and he breaks out of their like hypnosis for 10 minutes and he says, "Get out."
I've got to rewatch it again. It didn't grab me enough.
I think it's all right. I do think the Skeleton Key is like, because it came first, and I think they set the ending up so well. Like you don't realize that they're going to switch bodies.
No,
even if you know there's a twist coming, you don't know what the twist is. I think it's brilliant. But what else did I want to say? Yeah, and then she goes back to see Jill, innit?
Yeah, so she goes back to see Jill. Obviously, our structure's a bit all over the place, but yes, so she discusses what's going on with Jill, and I think Jill tells her about the laundromat.
Yeah, she does. Big voodoo.
But she gives a brief description of hoodoo. She calls it hoodoo, not voodoo. So, and basically talks about it as being what black people in America practiced, obviously after slavery and things like that. So, yeah, I found that bit quite interesting.
I like that bit as well because I thought it was a nice contrast between the serpent and the rainbow, where it is presented as religion. Yeah, you know, like the funeral, the procession of the Virgin Mary, all this stuff, and hoodoo is just like the darker stuff. There's no morality to it, and I don't know. Like, I think that work. I think they explain that quite well, to be honest. You know, like the difference between witchcraft and going to church.
But then Jill says, like, obviously, this only works on people who believe. If you don't believe, it can't do any harm. But yet she doesn't want to go into the laundromat with Caroline.
Yeah, she understands the power. Like, you don't mess with these forces. And this is what's so good, is that Caroline is such a stubborn idiot
Yes.
like who thinks she's right and she thinks she knows better and she thinks she's like special in a way.
She thinks she knows everything.
Yeah, and
That's the thing.
it's what I absolutely love, because normally in films, right, what you get is you get the main character is flawed, and then over the progression of the film, they accept their flaw and they kind of conquer it. Right? Just
Mm,
standard things, like all stories about the transformation of the main character. What's both good and not that satisfying to me for this film is that she doesn't change. The only thing that changes is her believing.
mm,
Like, and because she doesn't change, and she's got so many opportunities to just not do something stupid, and then she does it. And it's not because she's an idiot, it's because she's just stubborn and thinks she's right. And
yeah.
I really like that as a sort of as a horror villain. It's completely her own fault.
Yeah. And it's what the shame is. There's no character development throughout it. She just just it's like a downward spiral, isn't it, of her flaw coming back to bite her on the bum.
Yeah, and it's good because
Yeah.
I think the motivation's quite strong as well. Is that she's essentially trying to save her dad, is what it all boils down to.
Yeah.
Is that John Hurt is like her father. And she just keeps getting like lost in the weeds. And like I like all this stuff with the brick dust and things like that. I think it's really well
Yeah.
done. Although if you just it is I did laugh actually when I was like watching a Hollywood horror film with a girl running around throwing dust on the floor, like to stop someone attacking her. And I was like, this is wicked. Like, this is so dumb that I'm fully invested. But yeah, Jill, man, she's such a good character.
I like it when she says Jill the Thrill is scared and she's like, kiss my ass, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scared. It's just she just thinks she just thinks she's untouchable, basically. She's really not. That's what it is. And another thing that the film does well, she doesn't see Violet as a threat. That's the problem. That's the
When did
biggest
you
problem.
see
She
her as a
underestimates
threat?
Violet.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
When did you see her as like definitively the villain of the film?
I didn't see her as a villain straight away, but one thing I did see her as a threat, because I'm thinking to myself, you're going into this house that you don't know. You've seen this attic with creepy stuff in it, but yet you still decide to go back. You don't ever look at the situation and think, maybe I should have second thoughts here. You just dive into things with no plan. And that's when I thought to myself, well, that's when the ending does come. It's like, well, serve you right, because you were warned so much and you never took
Yeah.
heed of anything. Do you know
But
what I mean?
when you're seeing like her, like, drugging him basically and stuff like that, like there must have been a moment for you like watching where you're like, it's not ghosts, it's not this, it's not that, it's her.
Um, it came much later, to be honest with you.
Did you like that
Um,
as a device?
yeah,
I do as
yeah,
well.
and obviously there's a bit later on in the film where she bangs on the door of Caroline's door, and she's like, "No mirrors. I've told you, no mirrors." And then there's a scene soon after that where she's with Ben in the bath, giving him some
Yeah.
clean, and she decides to open up the mirror in front of his face, and then he obviously recoils in horror. And I'm just thinking, you're such an idiot. Like, why do you have to keep testing people? Do you know what I mean? Your curiosity is gonna kill
Yeah.
you in the end. She just doesn't care. She's a very irritating character to watch, but she played the role perfectly, to be honest.
Yeah, like so. Yeah, like
Yeah,
when I think Kate Hudson plays this really well, and I think
yeah,
it's a really good like. It's a very different role from normal sort of like slasher horror films where
yeah,
running about and screaming. Like she is just being a moron
yeah,
for all of the film, but because she thinks she's right and she thinks she's better
yeah,
than everyone. And that's what I love about it, is that it's a brilliant portrayal of people that I know or have known. Like
mm,
they can't be in danger, like they'll be fine, all this kind of stuff. It's wicked. And I really like the mirrors stuff because I find mirrors I find mirrors quite scary. in horror films, because
Yeah.
you know, the obvious metaphor is they reflect things, and whenever you see one, you're like, oh no, like a monster's going to pop up behind and scare me, and things like that. And I think it's quite cool that you'd never really know if she's hiding the mirrors because we might see like Papa Justice like reflected in them, or if she's hiding the mirrors because Ben goes absolutely mental when he sees how old he is.
Actually, I'm glad that you mentioned that. I think that's probably what it is, because obviously Ben, he's basically, if I'm correct, he's meant to be like who the lawyer is.
He's the lawyer, yeah.
Exactly. So it makes sense when she decides to show himself in the bath. It makes complete sense when he like doesn't want to look at himself. He just probably can't believe it.
Yeah.
Imagine if it happens to you. You're not going to believe it. You're going to think you're in a nightmare, aren't you? So,
man, I am.
Yeah.
I'm ringing up Big Voodoo and I'm getting my rig back. If that happens to me, like, they better watch out, because I mean, I'm putting them in a cat or something. Like,
the thing is, though, it's a complete nightmare, because even if you somehow do speak and you do speak to someone, they're
who
just going to
believes
throw
you?
you in a mental. Yeah, exactly. They're going to throw you in a mental asylum. Say you're crazy. This isn't real. This doesn't happen. You're going in. They'll section you. So
Yeah,
you can't do anything about it. So it is terrifying.
it's absolutely
Yeah.
terrifying. Like, it's such a good concept, and it's something we don't see done enough. Like, whenever we see these things, it's always things like Freaky Friday or something boring, like 13 going on 30. It's not like the real horror of it, of someone stealing like your youth. Like, brilliant, amazing. And was I was going to say something else then, but I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, but I liked it. With Ben, like, this is what I was going to say. The thing that I would have done earlier is, I think there's a really cool scene like later on where Caroline has a dream, and in the dream she sees herself with her eyes stitched and her mouth stitched.
That scene that was a scary scene, man. And you know what? I liked how they did that scene. It was amazing, that scene.
I think that needs to be earlier in the film. Because
nah, I don't think so, though.
I'll tell you why.
I thought it came at the right time.
Maybe, but I want that motif earlier in the film, because what you think that's about at the time is what's happened to Ben. He's been stitched up, his eyes closed, and he's trapped inside, like that kind of locked in syndrome. And that is what, for the majority of the film, that is your thing, is that whatever happened to Ben is going to happen to her. And I would have put that in a little bit earlier as a sort of misdirect, because I don't care who you are, no one knows that Ben is the lawyer in that film until you know, where the lawyer goes bad, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, no one knows it's there. And you need a kind of, I think you need a bit more of a threat, as it were, in the film. Because the character is just completely oblivious to anything that's going on. Like, but maybe, I don't know. It's an interesting one. But I really like the scene with her eyes stitched and her mouth stitched. I think that's scary.
It was scary, and obviously you see Papa Justify, you see Cecile in the dream as well, which was they're basically the two stars of the show that you don't really see much in it, but it's all about them and their story and stuff. And I thought that was filmed brilliantly, actually.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good things about this film I like.
Absolutely. And then there's another like bit of silliness that sort of happens after the bath scene, I think, where does she go back to the petrol station and meets a blind woman to talk about the record?
Yeah, but that's a bit later on. She goes there with Luke. She goes there with the lawyer.
You see, I think that would have been more fun to have them investigating earlier as well, because the expectation is that he's the love interest.
Yeah.
And I would have liked, because what I like is is that when you get like set up to films like, have you seen The Ring, for example?
Yeah, but I'd have to watch it again. It's a long time ago since I've
All right,
seen
well,
it.
in a lot of horror films, the second act is basically investigating the monster,
Okay.
like finding out the story behind it, all those kind of things. And I would like to have seen them investigating Papa Justice and Mama Cecile and falling in love.
Mm.
That's, but then again, but instead we get awesome scenes like John Hurt just diving out a window. Like,
That came a bit earlier, didn't it? Yeah, that
yeah,
came earlier. But and he writes on the bed sheet, "Help me."
yeah. And then she
Yeah.
hides the bed sheet, and I think that's the moment you're meant to realize that she is the villain.
Yeah, that was probably the time when I thought to myself, "There's something not quite right about her. Like she's doing something." I didn't know why she was doing it. You don't find out why she's doing it,
Yeah, well, you don't
but it all
find
makes sense at the end.
yeah, it all makes sense at the end, and
Yeah,
it's a very satisfying ending. But
it is.
I just like it's the bits, Tyrone, like when she's gone to Big Voodoo behind the laundromat, and she's got all the instructions, and she starts like casting a hoodoo spell. Like she's just such an idiot, man. Like, but I think that scene's quite well done.
Mm.
Like he's almost about to speak.
Yeah.
What do you
So
think?
basically, is that after she's gone to the laundromat to kind of get all the stuff
Yeah,
she
she's
needs to
got a
help
spell.
cleansing? Yeah.
And at this point in her character development, she, because he believes it, like she thinks it'll work. I don't think she believes at this point.
Mm.
It's only when Mama Cecile doesn't cross the line in her room that she begins to
Yes.
believe.
Yeah. Because it's like, why don't you come in? I need you to come and have a look at something. She just, no matter what, she just will not come in.
Yeah,
But
and
throughout the whole film, I'm thinking to myself, you're with these crazy people, and not once have you thought to yourself, you know what, I can find another job and get out of here. You're still
yeah,
there, trying to help some. I mean, all right, you want to help old Ben because he can't look after himself. But why? Like, why don't you look
she's a
after yourself
moron.
first?
It's because she's so pig-headed
She's
and
risky.
stubborn.
She
It's
wants to
crazy.
risk her life for someone she doesn't know. I just do not get it at all.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
basically like virtue signaling, isn't it? Is what
yeah,
she's
that's all it
doing,
is. Yeah,
and
she's very irritating.
that's why I think it really, really works. It works
Mm,
well as a film, is because you just understand what these people are like. They just want to be perceived a certain way,
yeah,
and in some ways, the film is actually about perception. It's about the perception of belief. It's about the perception of who you are with your body. So I think it all kind of
mm,
works well together. It's just you're right. She's tremendously annoying, and
mm,
it's I mean, it's laughable when you think how many people tell her to do not get involved. You don't
yeah,
understand this world. And
yeah.
she's like, yeah, no, what are you talking about? Got a nursing degree. No worries.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
my god.
Great stuff. Right, where are we in the film at the moment? He's just had his bath and yeah, now it's the
Um,
record, isn't it? The record gets a bit more important.
yeah, well, yeah, she finds this record and she decides to play it. And then it's like, it says something along the lines of, "It's Time Lord from the dry dust." Sorry, no, it is Time Lord. Take me from the dry dust and out of these chains from the devil's house. It's Time Lord to take me from the dust, break me from these chains, bring me from the devil's house, take me out of darkness, walk me out of blindness, lift me out of sadness, save me from my damnness, please, Lord. So yeah, it's quite deep at that point.
Yeah, it's the Conjurer Sacrifice, I believe it's called.
Yeah, and then the friend provides another cheap scare because she just pops up behind her out of nowhere. And yeah, Caroline's like, I think it's time we went for a drink. And then that's when she explains what hoodoo is and how it's only powerful if you believe it. And yeah, eventually we get to a scene where Caroline visits Big Mama and obviously gets the spell to kind of help Ben out. Because obviously she explains like he's paralyzed, he can't speak, he can't talk, can't walk, and all that sort of stuff. And she goes there for a solution. You know, for
So
why I don't know, but she wants to
yeah,
help a
well,
stranger.
what
She's known
what
for 2 minutes, and
I'll tell you what cracked me up watching this again, right? Is when I was watching this, I was under the impression that whatever had been done to Ben was completed, and now it was her turn, right? In this, what I find very, very funny is that she thinks it's about that it hasn't finished with Ben, and the Mama Cecile is going to steal the rest of Ben's life. Did you get that impression? Because there's a bit where she says, "Oh, it's me you want" at the end, and I'm like, "You are such a moron, Kate Hudson. Of course it's you."
yeah,
But at this point, am I right in thinking
yeah.
that she thinks that they're going to do something to Ben, who quite clearly has had something done to him?
Yeah, because I think it's a bit confusing because obviously when she's going up to investigate at the petrol station, obviously they meet that woman who they tell about the record,
Yeah,
and the woman says she explains what it's basically the most powerful conjuring, but she says that Papa Justice and Cecile died before they could actually make it come true. But obviously she doesn't understand what they've done with it. Like, she
yeah,
doesn't realize that before they died, they put their souls into the souls of those two children.
yeah.
Because
It's a
obviously we
big
think they're
clue.
just harmlessly teaching. Well, we think obviously when Violet first tells the story, we just think that they were both killed because they were teaching the kids how to conjure, but they weren't doing that at all. They were taking over their
Yeah, that
they
was
were
a
basically
ceremony.
taking over. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
ceremony to take over their
and
power.
that's your first. I think in
Mm,
the film that is the first major. Like, if you tell me you understand, you got what was happening there, I'd be like, all right, you're cleverer than me. Like, I can
mm,
accept that. But I don't think it's once again. I don't think it's a very good scene. It's needless, spooky stuff when that just is completely out of place. Like the
mm,
haunted garage. Like, what is this place?
mm. Yeah.
Like,
We
I
don't
would,
even find out who this blind woman is. It's just a blind woman who seems to know
yeah,
about stuff. Who is
because
she?
I thought it was going to be one of the children. That's who I thought
Mm,
she was when I first watched it.
mm.
And that I thought she was blind because she'd cut her eyes out from what she'd seen, was where I thought they might be going with it.
Yeah.
I think that can all be done a bit better, but once again, it does deliver what you need in that moment. It just feels very manufactured. Like, oh, we need to make this a bit scary now.
No, but Caroline says to she says to Luke, who she believes to be Luke, she says, look, like come and have a look at this. Look at this petrol station. Like voodoo seems to have just taken over the whole town. And I'm just
It,
watching the scene, thinking to myself, you're talking to him like you've known him for years. You talk to all these people like you've known them for
like
years.
you're
They're
their
complete
boss.
strangers. Yeah, I'm just thinking I don't know. You're in a world you don't understand, and you're just acting like you can just walk through anything.
I
Terrible.
The other thing that's done in that scene as well, which you like, no shade on you for this, is he stops at the brick dust line.
Yes. Yeah, he does. Yeah. Yeah, he does.
And so there's just a couple of clues there that I think make these sort of things satisfying, as it were.
Mm.
Like, so on a rewatch, you're like, he did, and then you obviously the next series of scenes are absolutely brilliant because it's back with Mama Voodoo,
Mm.
and they're in this battle of wits where Kate Hudson drugs her. Like, just very silly, but
Yeah.
I think quite fun because it again shows how Kate Hudson thinks she's the shit in this. Like,
Mm.
Caroline thinks that she's just so much better, smarter than everyone else.
It's a fantastic script. Shout out to the writer Kruger because the script is brilliant. Clever writing.
Yeah,
The kind of
it's
it's very good.
like for example, if we ever do anything with a twist, I think we have to go back through this script first to see
Mm.
where things are put in.
Mm.
Like, because there's stuff right at the beginning with her going, "Oh, I hope she doesn't have tattoos" and stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
there's all these little things in it, so that when you think back to earlier scenes, you're like, "Ah, that's what was really happening."
Yeah, because when she's mentioning the tattoos, you're just thinking, oh, it's just an old lady just looking down on young people. You just think
Yeah,
it's just a harmless comment. It's
yeah.
only as you get later on and you see the disappointment. Oh, I wish you could have got a black one this time. You know what I mean?
I love the way they look
Yeah,
at Jill at the end, and they're like, we just couldn't get her.
yeah,
Like, there's not a
yeah,
chance we're gonna like anyone is gonna be as stupid as this white woman we found.
yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what they say. There's a line. You know, the black ones don't stay long.
Yeah,
Uh,
I wouldn't stay long either. I'm like, a lot of the time, I think, would this get me? Absolutely not. Would this get me
nah.
unless they offered me the power to do it and trick me
Well,
that way?
beggars can't be choosers, he says. That's fun. That's a funny
Yeah,
line as well. Brilliant. But it's just, yeah, you're right. Well, even after she has the nightmare, wouldn't that be enough for you to just think, you know
no,
what? I've had enough of this.
she thinks she's
You
better
just
than
almost,
everyone,
yeah.
and
I've
that's
never
what's.
known anyone like that.
I know loads of people like that. She thinks she's too good for everyone else.
Mm.
That how she lives her life is great. She's morally superior to everyone. It's a fantastic character because it's like the complete idiocy of youth, as it were.
Yeah,
And everyone around her, man, is don't go back. I'm going to go back. I've got to get Ben. He's not your father. Like he
yeah.
just like call the police. Like she doesn't call the police once in this film, by the way.
And
Even
that's
when,
another thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's on the phone to Jill, going, Jill, I really need you to get the police, a SWAT team, ambulances, paramedics. Like, Jill, man, just stop being friends with her.
Well, Jill says, you know what? Like, I know you care about this Ben guy, but they kind of discuss like a unhealthy attachment to people that she
Yeah,
ends up caring for. And she, for some reason, Jill decides to apologize to her when what she said was quite justified, in my opinion. You know, she's like,
Jill the
I'm
Thriller.
sorry. Yeah.
Um, but and then we get also I really enjoy that she drives a rubbish car and tries to like bash down the gates.
It looks like is it a Fiat? It looks like a Fiat to me.
I don't know what it is, but
Yeah,
I
I think it's a
I
Fiat.
really love the idea that she just hasn't. She thinks she's planned ahead by drugging the woman,
Mm,
but like how's she going to get out of the house? And so she just leaves
exactly.
Ben and takes a rowboat,
Oh my God. That
which is a
well, one
great
thing
shot.
about her
To be fair,
character, she underestimates Violet from the very beginning. She underestimates everyone. She thinks she's like you said. She thinks she's too clever for her own good, and she
well,
just gets found
it's
out.
fine to underestimate these people at the beginning, but it is. I do really like the little trap they set for her, which appeals to her hubris, where Violet tells her about the lynching.
Yeah,
And then
of
she goes, "This is the
yeah,
point everyone leaves at." And Kate says, "I'm not like other girls. I'm gonna stay."
mm,
And
yeah,
it's stuff like that that I like. It plays into this. It's because all this is hubris, basically. She thinks she's better
mm,
than everyone. Thinks she's special. Like any opportunity to prove it, and she does. And this culminates with her on a rowboat with Mama Cecile with a shotgun, and she's like, instead of going to the police, she goes to like the lawyer.
yeah. And then obviously she goes to him. He gets her on the phone as if he's recording her, and then she obviously sees all the stuff, the secret stuff inside. And
Yeah,
we get this shocking scene where he gets a cord around her neck and attempts to take her out, which he does. And then, yeah, he's driving her back to the house, gagged.
third act
And
time.
yep, and there's a lot of action in this act.
Yeah, it's like because she's also got John Hurt on a shelf, like
Yeah,
with a sheet around him and giving him some pliers. Went, stay here. And so like because the lawyer, Papa Justice, is also a bit of an idiot, which I quite enjoy in this.
mm.
Like Mama Cecile is definitely the brains of this operation.
And that's the thing. You never knew that when obviously when you first see them and you find out their history, you think,
Mm,
oh, he must be the man, behind it all. But he's not. She's obviously clearly the one who's like been the brains from the very beginning, and she's
yeah,
the reason why they've carried on to live for all these years and get so many people. She's obviously the one who's it's mental. It's just so crazy. It's such a yeah, it's such an original idea, and I
It's
can
great, isn't it?
understand
Like,
why. Yeah, I can
what did you
understand why other
think to
films have
the
taken it.
what did you think to the sort of running around throwing brick dust on the floor and stuff? Did you like, because it works or simply on the
Yes.
level that she now believes? Like
Mm.
it's unquestionable at this point. If someone said to you, "Does she believe in hoodoo?" Yeah, of course she does, because it's
When her
like it's
life's on the line,
working
she
and
does.
things. Sorry.
Well, she believes when her life is on the line now in this third act.
Yeah.
Suddenly, she's a believer because she hasn't been a believer right up until the point where she's in danger. So now it's funny to see, that she's actually
Well,
believing in
it's
it.
the bit.
It
The
was a bit
bit.
ridiculous, though.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely ridiculous. Like it's it's like the lawyer is shouting, "Oh my god, she's put brick dust down. What are we gonna do?" And then for some reason,
I can't get her. I can't get her
yeah,
to sue. I can't get her.
and then like, Mama Cecile gets in the lift, like, and she's put brick dust on every single door except for the lift. Um,
Mm,
but I did quite like that because you'd seen the lift earlier, so it
yeah.
wasn't like a surprise. But
Mm,
I enjoyed the stupidity of them running around the house, and it's one of the rare films where it makes sense that they just don't just shoot the main character.
mm,
So they put too much of an investment. Um, but yeah, and then you get the really defining scene. And what were you thinking here? Hello?
I was thinking to myself, wow, all along from the very, very beginning, it was you they wanted, and you thought it was Ben. You, for some reason, you thought Ben was the one that she was doing all this to, but
Yeah, because no one thought that, did they?
yeah,
It's
no,
just
I didn't
her.
think that. Yeah.
And she's like, "Ah, I see." Um, but what I really liked about this is that she cast the spell of protection herself,
Mm,
because that shows that she believes. I
yeah,
think that's a
but
really
it was
important
basically,
part.
but it was also important when Cecile says, "This is what I wanted you to do."
Yeah, no, yeah,
It's
but that's
only it's
separate.
only to keep you in it's only to keep you in the circle.
Yeah, that's separate
Yeah.
though, isn't it? It's
Mm,
like, who
yeah.
gave you that spell? You've been tricked. But it's
Yeah.
more the fact that because she casts that spell and cuts her hand and does all the hocus pocus stuff. At that point, she believes.
Mm,
It's because the brick dust is about them, the circle's about her.
mm.
So
It's mad. She's been manipulated from the very beginning to come
yeah,
to this moment, which is
it's
crazy, isn't it?
wicked, isn't it? And what did
Yeah.
you think was going to happen? Did you know that they were trying to switch bodies at this point?
I didn't know that. I knew it towards the end, but one thing I did think was I actually wondered, is Papa Justice Ben pretending not to be able to do anything, and is Cecile Violet? So I was right about one of them. I didn't realize the lawyer was implicated. I didn't know how he was implicated until the very end.
Yeah.
So yes,
Did that
yeah,
twist get you? Like when
it got me, man. It got me good, but it made it more satisfying because I thought, oh my god. No, obviously, normally with an ending, the main protagonist, you know, like in Serpent and the Rainbow, it's a bit too predictable. You know what I mean? He ends up
yeah,
getting
he
a happy
turns into a
ending.
jaguar.
Yeah, yeah. This was better because it's like that bit right where her friend comes and you look at Violet, who she's now become, and she's looking at her friend like, and she can't speak. I
Yeah.
actually I let out a massive laugh because I thought, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Well,
I
what I
thought,
really like
what? Sorry.
about this is that
Yeah.
The Usual Suspects did this as well, where it was almost like they anticipated people were going to say there's a great twist, so they put two in.
Yeah. Mm,
Like, so in this, the twist, if someone said, "Oh, it's got a great twist," when you see that the lawyer is actually a baddie, you would think that that is the twist. And so I'm of the opinion, having seen these kind of films, that you need two twists in a film for it to really land.
mm,
Like, Usual Suspects is a great example of that. Like, there's the famous twist, but there's actually, people forget there's a twist before it, where what you think that is it Gabrielle Bryan, the main character in that?
I haven't watched it.
You've never seen The
I
Usual
realize
Suspects?
there's so many films I haven't seen.
All right, that is
You know.
definitely going on the list.
I'll write it down.
You've okay, I'm stunned. You haven't seen The Usual Suspects. Very, very good film. But then the execution of the body snatch, I think, is really well done in this with the mirror.
I forgot to mention this during the mirror. There's a little bit when is it during a nightmare? Where is it? There's a bit where Caroline's in her room, I believe, and she has the mirror, and you actually see Cecil behind her closing the door. I thought that was scary for me because I thought, oh my god,
it's good, isn't it? Because they just keep bringing up Papa Justice and Mama Cecile throughout the film, like they're in the background, and but I really like the bit where she flung the mirror at her, and it sort of comes towards her like a shopping trolley, and then you see all the different faces in it, and the last one is Mama Cecile reaching out to grab her.
And it's basically showing you all the people that have been taken over the time. It's crazy.
And then I think the execution of the twist is excellent as well, on the basis that it's shown, not told, where she picks up the cigarette.
I do like that bit.
Like, so if you're of a certain mind, you understand that is you understand what's happened. And then they obviously gradually explain it a little bit more, but you're like, oh, hang on, why is he talking to her like that and stuff?
And she hasn't smoked. Bearing in mind, Caroline hasn't had a cigarette the whole film until that point as well. So.
So there's a film that we won't watch. I don't know if you've ever seen it, called The Village.
Have I seen The Village?
Mike Shyamalan, or whatever he's called. He did The Sixth Sense.
Is that where there's a load of killers in the village and they wear these masks?
No, that's Scream, isn't it?
Nah, something else.
This film isn't particularly good film, but it has a twist at the end, and the twist is explained with a photograph, which is very similar to. Have you seen The Shining?
Yeah.
You know, there's a picture of like the hotel, and Jack Nicholson is there, and it says like 1913 or something. Like it's a visual way of doing the twist, rather than them coming out and rather than her going, "Do you like my new body?" or something like that. Do you know? Like it's the picking up of the cigarette tells a story by itself, which I find very satisfying. Agile is saying, "Do you take film suggestions?" Yeah, we've got our next two films locked in. But yeah, give us a film suggestion and we'll have a look.
Yeah, give us some.
We've got a big list that we just pick from randomly, so we can add it to the list without problems. Yeah, Ron Howard's Daughter is in The Village. Village is quite a good film, to be honest. I quite like it. It's just I think that this is a better example of how you work towards a twist. And because me and Tyrone, we're artistes now, aren't we, Tyrone? Yeah. We have to learn from the films. And then we get by far my favourite shot in the entire film, Tyrone, where they're both in the back of the ambulance. Hilarious.
Yeah, just looking at each other. Yeah, it is a crazy. She must be thinking to herself, like, one, I should have listened to my friend. Two, I really wanted to speak to my friend, tell her what's happened, but I couldn't. And three, I'm not getting out of this situation now. I'm done. Like, when she realizes she's an old woman, that must have been a nightmare.
That's scary stuff, isn't it? Scary. And also, he's transferred. I love the fact he's transferred the house to her.
Yeah, for the will. Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
But I did wonder, though. I don't know if you wondered, like, what is it that they give her to drink to stop her from being able to speak? They've given her like some kind of toxin, haven't they? Well,
pufferfish toxin. We saw it. We saw the recipe in The Serpent and the Rainbow. Signs is a sick film. Have you seen Signs?
No, we can add that to the list. I've not seen it.
Oh, we can definitely add. Signs is amazing. I've got a funny story about Signs as well. Signs is a really, really good film. Mel Gibson, Joaquin Phoenix. Excellent.
Okay,
I think it's the best of the Mike Shyamalan films.
Okay, cool. The thing, really, you know what it is, though?
It's a very Christian film.
There's so many films to watch, though. That's the crazy thing. There's loads.
Well, before I forget, because it's Halloween and we're watching scary films this month, the next film is Insidious, which I am not looking forward to be perfectly honest. I do not like jump scares and things like that. Not my type of film.
I'll be honest with you, it's been a while since I've watched this, so I've got to rewatch it a couple of times myself, but I'm looking forward to it.
It's well liked though, isn't it? Insidious.
It is, yeah. I think you'll like it. I think you'll like
There's
it.
one. There was one I was thinking of recommending called The Babadook. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No, I've heard of the Marmaduke
Australian film. Oh, is that the one I mean? No, I mean The Babadook.
I'll write it down.
Think?
I've written it down. I've not heard of it. Has anyone in the comments heard of the Babadook? I've not heard of it.
Babadook is really famous. It's like maybe 2012, 2014. It's about a mother, I think played by Toni Collette, and she's lost her husband and is being basically haunted by something after her baby. Yes, Agile Beast, The Thing will be the climax of our horror season. Drag Me to Hell, man. That is, I like that film a lot. It's about anorexia.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, like what?
Anorexia.
What are you looking at?
Film about anorexia. That would be a. No, I'm just saying when you mention anorexia,
so like,
that'd be a. Yeah.
Drag Me to Hell, right? It's about a woman who gets a gypsy curse put on her. About in 10 days you get dragged to hell. But it's actually a metaphor about anorexia.
Okay.
Like,
cool. I'll look it up.
It's really good. It's got an excellent ending as well. You've got Babadook. Look, crap. Babadook's a brilliant film. Like, it's not. It doesn't go where you think it goes, and I wouldn't say it's like a horror film, but it's definitely worth watching. Like, maybe I'll put the Babadook on the list, but we have to watch The Thing. Like, The Thing and Alien are probably the two greatest horror films of all time, in my opinion. And Tyrone's seen Alien.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So the idea is that one of us recommends a film that the other one hasn't seen, which is why this is how I'm ending up watching fucking Insidious, which I would never watch.
Well, I'll be honest with you. When I saw Skeleton Key and I looked at Rotten Tomatoes, you can sometimes look at like people's reviews and think I'm not going to watch it just on that basis, but I think the reviews have been very unkind. Yeah, they're wrong.
It's a brilliant.
It was not film. There's no way it should only have a rating of like under 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that's wrong.
Is that what they gave it?
It's much better than that. And it's not got a high rating.
Give it then out of 10?
I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. But it was a very.
I think I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
I'm giving it a 7.
I think it sets out to do what it wants, and it's a very satisfying ending.
The ending, I think the ending was my favorite part because it's something that got me.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, the ending's my favorite bit of the whole movie.
Yeah, it's one of the best endings to a horror film. And there's another one that I thought about using for a good ending, which is The Mist. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No.
The Mist is about some people in like Tesco Express, and some fog comes in, and there's monsters in the fog, and they've got to stay inside. And the ending is a proper gut punch. It's like, honestly, it's awful. The ending, it's horrible, but it's not as well constructed as it is in the Skeleton Key. Like, but the Mist is if you like the Skeleton Key, you'd probably enjoy The Mist because it ends very strongly as well.
Do you think the title was good? Do you think Skeleton Key was a strong enough title for the film? Or do you think that's...
No, I think it's a terrible title.
I think that's a good reason. Maybe that's another reason why I didn't do that well selling it, because I think it needed a better title. But apart from that, it was a good film. Good story.
Oh, look, Lord of the Rings has been mentioned, Tyrone.
Oh no.
Lord of the Rings is my favourite book, and I'm a massive fan of the films. They're not perfect. Maybe later on we can do Lord of the Rings. I'm not watching The Hobbit again.
I,
Like dreadful stuff.
you know what? I've got no problem with Lord of the Rings. It's just so bloody long.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
If we were doing Lord of the Rings, it would have to be over Christmas or something.
Yeah, like a special. We could
Yeah.
do a Christmas special.
And well, I want to do Lawrence of Arabia over Christmas, to be honest, because that's another really long film. Or Seven Samurai.
Would you do Gladiator? Are you seen Gladiator?
That's it.
Haven't you?
I love Gladiator.
Oh, it's a shame we can't do it.
But do you know what's so good about the films we've seen recently? Hour and a half.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Like I love like The Serpent and the Rainbow was over. It just started, it chugged along, and then it was over. It was great.
Yeah.
I didn't have to like think. And we obviously watched Interstellar, and I like that. But about 2 hours into it, I sort of fidget a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I check.
An hour and a half is a
Go
good
check
time.
the United news. Hour and a half is
2 hours
brilliant.
is too long, I think, for most movies. I'll be honest.
Right, I think I'm going to add this film to our list up here from Agile Beast, The Square.
The Square.
2008.
Okay.
Aussie actor, Joel Edgerton, who I think is quite good. Really good neo-noir, 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. Never heard of it.
Neither have I. I'm loving all these suggestions, by the way. Gets me thinking.
Yeah, me too. There we go. The Square, 2008. All right, that is on the list. As I say, for October, we've picked the films already because it's it's Halloween and that. But in November, I don't think we've got any Christmas films, do we?
No, but regarding the one we've just watched, I'm going to reflect on my score. I think I'm a bit harsh. I'm going to bump it up to an 8.
No, if you want it to be a 7, it doesn't matter, does it?
I'm going to bump it up to an 8 because I did enjoy it. It kind of exceeded my expectations, and I think for the ending and for that last shot of the house as well, just for the cinematography.
That's quality, isn't it?
Yeah, the cinematography in the film is great.
It's one of those ones where when the film ends, you're just sitting there, just going, "Fuck me,
what have I just watched?"
Yeah, like you're like, "Fucking hell." Like that's what I like from a film, and then it does that slow pan out, so you're just sort of sitting there, going, "Jesus Christ."
One thing,
Kate Hudson is a moron.
One thing I did want to ask, because obviously you said that you spoke to the director and you emailed him.
I did.
Did it ever come up? Did you ever think to ask him like, would there ever be a sequel, or would they ever do a remake?
No. What I said to him was I absolutely loved the skeleton key and how it is constructed and things like that. And then I talked about some other stuff, which was like projects and could I maybe do something for him, because this is during COVID. Where, I don't know if people remember this, but we were inside for 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
And I hated it, and I didn't do very well in COVID, to be honest. So I needed something to do, and I think he was probably the same. And he's like, "Oh, made a new friend." But yeah, essentially he had sort of semi-retired. He made some really good films. Like he made one called K-Pax with Kevin Spacey, who obviously isn't a very popular actor now, but K-Pax is a very good film. And he did a lot of BBC dramas. And stuff like that. But obviously nothing came from it. But it was a very pleasant interaction, is why I bring it up, because I think a lot of the time people forget that you can just email like whoever you want, really, and sometimes they reply to you.
One thing, regarding horror films though, in terms of like independent films, like you do get a lot of people who do horror films, but a lot of them don't do very well. It's one of the hardest genres to get right, so that's another reason why I decided to bump it up to an 8.
Well, that's why our horror film is way down like the list. I mean, I still think the Twitch idea is a really good one about like, or like a haunted podcast or a haunted live stream, but I think that it's such a sort of competitive market. And people like people either think a horror is rubbish or they love it. There's very little in between. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like something like I watched a film like it's not something like is it the Dukes of what's the film with Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson and they drive motorbikes in it?
Is it Tropic Thunder? I can't remember.
Do you know the one I'm talking about?
I'm not sure.
It's just like in the 2000s and 2010s, you just used to get perfectly reasonable comedies coming out. Like, and you know, they were just inoffensive basically, and they were perfectly fine. You don't get that for horrors. Like, I watched Weapons the other day, and I thought it was brilliant for the first 20 minutes, and then I thought it was dreadful for the rest of it.
It's hard.
Do you know what I mean?
Tough,
like,
man.
it's and so a horror film, I think, has got to be until we're more in a groove with like just churning stuff out and things. I think we leave the horror film. I think the sort of comedy drama, Starsky and Hutch. Thank you very much, Agile Beast. That's exactly what I'm referring to. Like a completely middling comedy that I was perfectly fine watching at the cinema. Yeah, horror films can be. I mean, give me your hot takes, lads. What is the horror film that everyone says is brilliant or really scary or whatever that you think is a load of bollocks?
Well, I've got one that comes.
Start with you, Tyrone.
Well, there's one that comes into my mind, and you're gonna probably think I should have seen it, but I've not seen it. I've never seen Psycho, but I've been told that it's number one.
I've seen both the original and the remake.
What do you think?
Good film.
Okay.
But dated. It's dated. Like, what was scary then isn't so scary now. It's like, it's it's a bit like Scream or something. A bloke with a knife isn't that scary. It's just day-to-day London, really, isn't it?
I like this comment by Agile Beast. Yes, as I've grown up, horror movies have become less and less appealing to me, but I still like a good one. True.
What the Exorcist is a bad horror film, Agile? I love The Exorcist. I think it is a wicked film. Didn't scare. I think this is the problem with like demonic possession films now. It's because I don't mean this as a joke. I'm being completely serious. I think because of stuff like Twitter and everyone being horrible to everyone online, that it completely loses its impact. Because you just go on Twitter and say, I think Conor Gallagher is a good signing for Manchester United. And people will say worse things to you than they do in The Exorcist when it's literally the devil. I watched one, I can't remember, a while ago, and it's got Russell Crowe in it, like fat Russell Crowe on a Vespa fighting the devil, and it's quite fun.
Yeah.
But the one that really got me was something called The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's one of the scariest films I watched years ago. We're talking 2004. That was the first time I watched it because that actually looked real. It was
the crap out of me.
Yeah, it was an exorcism, but these things actually happen, though. These things do. Yeah. You might not like
it. Was one of our tribe, Tyrone, that was being exorcised, as it were. Okay. And do you know one of the reasons I hate that film so much is I watched it when I was playing in Chile.
Okay.
And we had a very competitive dressing room where there was a lot of practical jokes, and I was at the heart of quite a lot of these practical jokes. But the one they did to me, honestly, they used to call me at 3:00 in the morning because that's when the bad stuff happens in The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and I used to freak out. Like I'm
sorry.
Honestly,
yeah,
I'd be in such a state at training the next day. It drove me mental.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a scary film.
Paranormal Activity is one that's lived with me. I've got to admit.
Not seen it. It's not my favorite genre, horror. As much as I've said, let's do horror for October. It's not my favorite genre. But
well, we're kind of doing horror because I think the easiest way to break into the industry, as it were, is making a good horror film on
100%.
YouTube. Like so many have come. Like I think there used to be some idiots on YouTube called. Are they called Raka Raka? Do you know these people? They're two like Australians that used to do Jackass in their garden in Australia, and they're now big Hollywood film directors.
Wow, it is possible.
Like they did Talk to Her, I think, something like that. They've started making horror films for Bloomberg.
Wow.
Bilal has a question. I don't know what it means.
Hold on.
Gine.
Speaking of Psycho, not a film, but anyone been watching Gine? I've not heard of it, mate. I'll have to check it out. I've not heard of that one.
I've never heard of that.
Maybe it's a Korean horror.
The context. Korean horror. Signs gave me nightmares as a 9-year-old. I can imagine it's got to be the party scene in Signs. Signs is excellent. We might actually do that after The Thing, to be honest.
We can do.
Like, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a horror film. Ed Gein's series on Netflix. No, is it? I believe it's called Monster or something. It's about a serial killer. To be honest, I find a lot of Netflix tremendously shit.
Well, there was a few months ago, people were telling me to watch the Dharma series on there. I just was never interested in it. Didn't interest me at all.
Yeah, I'm not. I've got to be honest, right? I'm perfectly fine seeing aliens eating people and things like that. But when it's real life, I hate it. Like, even in Titanic, when they're bouncing off the propellers, like, I don't like it because it actually happened. Like, man, I watched Chernobyl. Man, you seen that?
Nah, I've heard it's good, though. I've heard it's a good show. I haven't seen it.
Oh, man, a bloke turns into a pizza. Like, he just, like, melts. Honestly, it's horrific.
I shouldn't laugh.
And it actually happened.
Laugh, but fucking hell.
Yeah, man. It's, pizza, man.
It's just like, the way you said it.
When oh, no, honestly, I'll send you the clip.
Fuck that. I won't watch that. I ain't watching that. What, he literally melts? Fuck that. I don't want to see that.
No, he does. But, like, he gets radiation poisoning, and over, like, a week, he just, like, turns into the blob, and it actually happened.
Oh.
Like, it's not like someone's imagined it. It actually happened to that poor bastard.
Send me the clip then. That's terrible.
Yeah, so when you sort of bring up like Ed Gein and stuff like that, I just not a fan. I don't like real life actual murders and things. I think they're horrible. So shame on you, Bilal. Actually, I was talking about Rotten Tomatoes. Do people actually listen to Rotten Tomatoes?
I do. Before I see before I watch a film, I do look just to see what the main people have said about it. But it doesn't stop me from watching it. So
I just don't trust film reviews anymore. Like, they're never about the bloody film. It's about if it's left or if it's right or if it's political or whatever. Like, if I see a film, it's called Cocaine Bear. I know what I'm in for. Do you know, like, you know, there's so many trailers and stuff. I don't think you need film reviews anymore. Like, this is a bit different because we're talking about the kind of the structure and the acting and things. But I don't know. I just don't listen to critics or something. It's the equivalent of going on the like FootMob or the BBC website and looking at like player ratings.
Yeah.
I've seen the game. I know how they're played. I don't need John from Middlesex to tell me that he thought Luke Shaw was a 7 out of 10.
I think when we're talking about football and stuff, there's a lot of people, journalists in the mainstream media, they just haven't got a clue. Some of them. I won't mention any names, but yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I think that's true of online as well. There are very few people who have a bloody clue what they're talking about. It becomes like a film review. It just becomes about narrative.
But it's also people who've never, people who don't even play the game, even at Sunday League level.
Yeah,
got all this stuff. They want to criticize people, but they wouldn't even be able to run 100 yards. But
yeah. I know what you mean. Like when you have a conversation about Maguire being slow, and you think, let's get the whole chat, do 100 meters, and if you can comment if you finish above, let's say, 16 seconds, which I think is quite generous.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do Cocaine Bear, Agile Beast. You don't need a review on Cocaine Bear. You don't need Cocaine Bear ending explained. It's about a bear that likes cocaine and kills people, and it is a stupid horror comedy. That is, if that sounds up your street, you'll like Cocaine
I'll enjoy
Bear.
that. I think I'll enjoy that. I think that'll be entertaining.
It's entertaining. It's not. I mean, it's not great. It's not a great film, but you know exactly what you're getting from it. Like I've never seen it, but I imagine Sharknado is exactly the same. It's like there's just going to be sharks flying about in hurricanes eating people. Wicked. Should we wrap up?
We will wrap up, but before we go, I just want to thank everyone who's come in and commented and given us film suggestions, because that's really cool. I love that, and they're definitely going to be things that we'll look into and get on the show. And yeah, let's hope that there's actually going to be a sequel for Skeleton Key one day. I really hope there is. I enjoyed it.
There won't be. Well, if there is, Tyrone, it'll have to be in like 40 years when Kate Hudson is now in her like 70s, and we need a new one.
You have to get it. Maybe a sequel could be someone who actually like beats them at their own game for a change. That would be interesting. Not someone who falls into the trap.
Yeah, well, that's like I've actually got a treatment of a film based on the Skeleton Key, where it's about 3 teenagers that wake up in an old people's home.
Wow.
So in some ways, you could say that is similar to a sequel, but it's basically the same idea of like your youth stolen. But as you know, I like it in horror films where people go on the attack, like in Bubba Hotel or Monster Squad. Yeah, Insidious next week, lads.
All right, lads. I'll say good night here. Hope to see you soon. Take care. Thanks a lot.